This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Hing.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
You're listening to Dear Venus with your host, Venus Andrecht.
Hi, everybody. How are ya? Venus Andrecht. Today's date, March 19th, 2013. On my notes, I put it was May. I guess I've skipped a few months while I've been gone here. Missed you last week. I wasn't here, remember? Anyway, today, the topic is, did someone just suck your energy? Why are you too tired to even party? How to get your Jing back. So we're going to be talking about that. First of all, I want to give you a phone number, though, to call me, because every live show, every Tuesday, you can call in and chat. I'm a medium, a reader, a psychic, an empath, a clairvoyant, clairaudient, yada, 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 telepath, everything. So you can talk to me about your problems, and I like to do that on air. So here's the number, 1-877-230-3062. This is all countries, by the way. Here we go again. 1-877-230-3062. And here's a little testimonial. I always like to give one so you have more confidence in me and what I do. This lady says, I have spoken to you once on the radio, because, you know, I give free readings on the radio. That's what I just gave you a number for. Anyway, she says, I've spoken to you once on the radio, and you are amazing. You changed my life and helped with my situation more than you will ever know. My husband had left me, and I had a 6-month-old baby. Because of you, we were able to reconcile, and we are still married today. This was 5 years ago when we spoke. You are truly amazing. Please let me know about a phone session with you tomorrow, and I understand if you have no openings left. Hello, I wish I could remember what that was all about. That was 5 years ago. I wonder what I did, because that's pretty amazing, and I'm glad it happened. But, you know, I just can't take all the credit, or maybe even any, because what I call the high beings work through me. And because of the way I'm put together and made, I guess, I'm able to hear things, see things, feel things, know things, have visions, whatever, and I just pass it on through. Using my personality, of course. Sorry about that, but somebody has to do it. If you want to know more about the readings I do over the phone, just go to my website, godisalwayshappy.com. That's godisalwayshappy.com, and you can find out everything you want to know or don't care to know about me there. So, today, did someone just suck your energy? Why are you too tired to even party? And how to get your Jing back. Well, I get my energy sucked a lot. I got it totally sucked out at the senior center. Remember that blog I wrote, let's see, I'll give you the date. It was February 6, 2013, titled The Senior Center Vixen. How I went there with my mother's health care person who took care of Mom when she was alive. I was going to help her get a job because there's a lot of old folks there that need help. And it was so bad. The things that happened were so difficult and so weird that Sanja had to help me out to the car. And I found it very interesting because when I was with my mother and I would go there, she must have been a clear, strong buffer for me because I had a great good time when I went with her. You know, some people are like that. They put out so much good energy that it protects people around them. It's like a protective force, which is something to think about, which I hadn't thought about until just this moment, I guess. Well, then another time, I remember I went with a friend of mine, a very high-powered friend who is into everything, fixing everything. She's a wonder worker for all different causes. I mean, she's good. I love her, and I love to have her do the things she does to make the world a better place. I mean, she's well known, too. But we had a 3-hour lunch, 3 or 4-hour lunch. She had margaritas. I believe I should have had a couple. I don't know why I didn't that day. And I told a friend of mine who knows her later that I would never do that again, not alone. I said not unless I have other girls as a buffer. We call each other girls. Because I didn't have a buffer. It was just her and me, and she was sitting across from me, and she has this powerful, powerful energy, and I was like, I just sucked out like a straw. I don't know what happened, but I was weak when I left. In fact, several times I got up to go to the bathroom just to get myself back together and trying to get a little more of my vitality juiced back into me. I think she probably unknowingly takes energy from those around her. That's why she has such boundless energy. She certainly doesn't do it on purpose. She's a wonderful woman. And then a while back I found myself turning down invitations by another friend to go to dinner and a show with her and some of her women friends who I knew. And these women were hard on my energy, and I know that. One woman writes what I think are crazy emails to the paper. Another one has rough energy. I see it that way, feel it that way. And I just couldn't do it. And then I was invited to an art opening. I really wanted to go. I'm a social person. I love to be out with people and do things. And you know what? I just thought about it. I thought, I can't deal. The drive was too far and too long, and I would have had to drive, and I would have had to deal with what I knew I'd have to deal with. I couldn't do it. Which doesn't mean I don't like these people. I just can only handle some in very small doses. And when I can dance away, I dance away. And sometimes, I sit and think about it, and I don't know why I turn down fun things, because then I sit home and I'm lonely, and I say I don't have any friends and I'm lonely. But then if I sit and think about it, I know why. I just have to be so careful, because so much energy out there from various people or places hurts me. And I am super sensitive because I am a sensitive and I do this work. But I know a lot of you who listen to me are super sensitive. You're probably just like me, or even more so. And more I learn how sensitive I am. I'm finally finding out why I'm sick so much with digestive issues and heart palpitations and all kinds of stuff. I'm starting to realize a lot of it's from all the additives in our food. Do you know, I think we have 5,000 different additives in our food. Many are from MSG, which goes by many, many different names, and it just about kills me. And there's other things. And in Europe, most of these additives are banned. They don't allow them. They do have a number of additives that are good. Why can't we use their additives? Why do we have to do things? Well, I know why. It's business interests. The FDA does not protect us or care. I'm going to do a show about this because I'm really getting on a high rocking horse about this, considering how sick I am a lot when I eat these things. I'm finally identifying it. And I bet you a lot of your health problems come from the same thing. I think that's the next thing after GMO products. Getting those labeled, we have to get these additives out of our food system. Anyway, that's not the show today. I'd love to cut up and have fun with people, but sometimes, often, when I'm done, I'm done. I'll be out having a good time, laughing and doing all kinds of stuff, and all of a sudden I just feel like, boom, it's like just boom, I'm done. It's like I collapse. I have to sit down. I don't want to be there. I can't think of anything more interesting to say or do. And now I'm realizing I feel wasted because I've been sucked out or taken on a lot of people's stuff. Because, we all carry stuff. I try and be very careful with my stuff. I try not to put it out on people. If I'm feeling bad, depressed, sick, sorry, sad, I try and keep it to myself. I can't always, but I try because I know how catching it is. And I need time to be with people, and I need time to be alone, because alone is when I'm able to filter out a lot of the stuff and recharge. And I suggest it for you too. I know people who just go, go, go all the time. They just go, 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 and I look at them, and a lot of them, well, some are unconscious. They just don't feel stuff. And others are nervous, or they have a lot of illnesses, or they're not right somehow. They're not mentally okay. I just think that they're taking on tons of stuff, and they don't even know it. And so many people are out there doing drama, Oh, we all like drama, or most of us have. We do things that are exciting around people who are exciting, and we like to talk about it, get all involved. And It's like the National Enquirer drama kind of stuff. It's in everybody's lives. So many people are still doing drama, and I certainly did more than my share of it, but now I'm generally not doing it because I'm aware of it. Drama, if I don't take it seriously, is fun for a while, and I know what I'm doing or where I'm at with it, and then when I've had enough, I quit. I walk away. I stop it. Recently there was a time a few weeks back where I worked so much, and I had so many party invitations. It's not always like that, you understand, but it was. I had one of those weeks that by Sunday I had to turn offers down that I really wanted to do, and I just mainly stayed in bed. I had to stay in bed and recuperate. And as we get older, our kidneys lose their Jing. Jing, J-I-N-G, is Chinese. They believe that we're born with a certain amount of Jing. We inherited it, and once it's gone, it's gone. And there's something else, another form of energy that we store in our kidneys, which I can't remember at the moment. It's Chinese too, and you keep that built up and you can add to it. But I personally work my Jing way too hard. I've probably blown right through it. Something good to get your energy back. Try acupuncture and Chinese medicine for your kidneys, and you need to rest. When you're tired, rest. A lot of people don't do that. I know I'm guilty of that. I'll get really tired and I think, God, I need a nap. Or even in the morning, I'm tired, I want a nap. Well, I think I've been pushing too hard and my Jing's down. My kidneys, according to the Chinese form of medicine, are not doing well. They can be fine, medically speaking, but not the Chinese way. And things like grief and suffering will suck you out too. I have to tell you about my cat Carl, just briefly. My lovely, beautiful cat Carl, who I love with all my heart. He died. He died suddenly. I woke up early Wednesday morning of last week. It was still dark, a little light, and I got up, and you know how you stagger out of bed, you're still asleep, and I looked, and he was dead on the floor. Well, what a shock to me. And it's been really hard. I wrote a blog about it, by the way. The next blog coming out is called What I Know About Love. One thing about Carl was I knew right from the start when I got him as a baby, shortly after I had him, that he was going to die. He would only live a year or maybe 2. He had a genetic Maine Coon cat heart condition. And I just chose to love him, keep him, love him with every fiber of my being, do everything for him, and treat him like I do all animals as sentient beings, And I decided when he did die, I would just remember how much I loved him, what I did for him, because, I don't give away animals. If once they're with me for life, no matter what. But I found it very hard. I made that decision, but I'll tell you what, I'm suffering. I'm really suffering. I'm grieving, and it's brought up a lot of grief, too, about my mother's death, and, oh my gosh, my childhood has just gone on. And a lot of tears, and a lot of lying on the bed, and I even forgot a client this morning. I forgot to call her. Oh, my God. Thank goodness she's a friend of mine. She had my number. She called me. She said, "Did you forget about me?" And I said, "Oh, my gosh, I did. I'm so sorry." I said, what happened? And basically, though, I'm doing readings and I'm doing fine, It's the only real relief I get, because when I do readings for people, I've trained myself to totally clear out. I'm not there. I mean, part of me is there. I do the work, but I'm personally not there. Truly, I forget my own name sometimes, who I am. I have a blank screen where I see everything, talk, listen, read, and I'm delighted to be out of myself for a while and out of the pain to read for you, so that's not a problem. Thank goodness. So how to stop suffering, which really taxes us and makes us weak and takes our energy. First of all, you got to realize you're suffering. You could be suffering over anything, a person, an animal, it could be death, it can be a bad romance, it could be people who treated you wrong, it could be things you don't like about yourself or that are happening. And if it can't be fixed right away, here's what I've learned. Cut the person or situation out of your life or mind, as I do. I mean, with Carl, it's different. Our grief is different. That's a different path. But you still, at some point, can start to get the hold of this thing. The lady I worked with this morning, her boyfriend died 6 years ago. She cries every day. She's still grieving, I totally get it and understand, but don't you think that's excessive? He was telling her, you've got to stop this. I'm with you all the time. I want to have fun. I can't have fun when you're suffering. You've got to stop it. And he gave her a lot of good advice, and I hope she listens. And though, like I said, some suffering must be borne until it ends, like grieving a death. Or if you have a child who causes you suffering, and don't they do that? My goodness. You got to do whatever you can and all you can for your children, but at some point we need to emotionally let them go, because they too are on their own journey. And this letting go when and how is a fine line. I know it's hard for a lot of us mothers, especially, who have grown up, and we have grown up kids, and we're still worrying and suffering over them, and they don't call us enough, or they don't think about us enough, or they're doing the wrong thing. All you can do is what you can do, and you just gotta let them go and stop suffering. And again, with Carl, I'm having to accept and make peace with the situation. I did all I could. I loved him all I could. And now I just have to get through it. So when you cut things out of your life that make you suffer, you're going to be stronger and more healthy in all different ways. And when you do all you can to accept or cut your physical suffering, you will be better. And again, Chinese medicine works on your Jing, so you might look into that. All right. It's almost time. It is time to take a short break before we go there. I just want to mention that I'm going to be choosing 3 winners today for a 10-minute phone reading with me, each person. 3 instead of 1. I always choose 1. If you didn't hear my show week before last, when I get back, I'll explain why 3. So I hope you'll stick with me. I'll be right back, though. I'm going to take your calls and see what you're up to, because you're generally always a hoot in some way or other out there. Venus Andract with the Dear Venus Show.
Love and benefit from the good energy mojos that Venus has on her website? Do you sometimes feel it when she tosses mojos to you on her radio show? If so, you will extra like her paintings and wall switches, because as Venus paints, she fills her work with powerful, good energy mojos. Venus says, when you have these on your walls, your home or workplace is always filled with good mojo to help things in your life go better for you. When you purchase this very popular art from Venus, she also puts a personal mojo in the piece just for you. You can see and purchase all this great energy art on artmojos.com. That's artmojos.com. Intentionally bring more power of the universe into your life. Many people say that Venus's paintings are always working for them. Let them work for you too.
Some people tell me they listen to my archive radio shows at night because I put them to sleep. When I complain, they say, "Oh, it's the sound of your voice, Venus. I love it because it relaxes me." Well, okay, that's good then. You can find all my archive shows on iTunes, Pinterest, and YouTube. To find my live and other archive shows, please go to my website, godisalwayshappy.com, and look under radio on my site. That's godisalwayshappy.com. And sleep tight. Don't let those bed bugs bite.
Want to win a phone reading with Venus? Venus announces a new winner's name every Tuesday on her Dear Venus show. It's easy to get in the possible winner's pot. Go to her website and look for the blue headphones. Click on them, and you'll get a free MP3 mojo from Venus called No Matter What Happens, Everything Is Always Okay. People say Venus's mojos bring many good results into their lives. Clicking on the blue headphones puts you on Venus's latest mailing list, where she draws the names for free readings. If you have never clicked on the blue headphones, you're not on the current list. Venus's website is godisalwayshappy.com. That's godisalwayshappy.com. And while you're there, look for more MP3 mojos that you can purchase for a nominal price. You'll be surprised at the happy results they may bring into your life. Are you ready to stop suffering over men? Are you seriously ready to be happy? Are you ready to have a great love life? Venus finally found the answers for an emotionally happy love life. She wrote the 5-star book about how you, too, can change your life with certain men, or even certain women. In it, you'll read the horrifying and funny true stories of Venus's former love life, and the true tales of many of her friends and clients, and how they all finally escaped the crying, whining, moaning, emotional trap to find real love and happiness. The ebook is titled Certain Men, How to Unlove Them, Unneed Them, and Replace Them with a Good Guy. It works with certain women, too. People say this book has saved their lives. You can read the first chapter on Venus's website, GodIsAlwaysHappy.com. You can find Certain Men as an inexpensive ebook at all the online bookstores. Certain Men. Are you ready to give them the boot? Are you ready for good love? Certain Men, the ebook by Venus Andrecht, now available at all online bookstores.
You're listening to Dear Venus with your host, Venus Andrecht.
Hi, welcome back. Yes, where are we? Well, we just talked about being around people and places that make you feel bad and how to get out of it. And now in a couple moments, I'm going to be taking your calls. First, I wanted to tell you the next Tuesday's show is March 26, 2013. And I call it Taking a Walk with an Artist. How an artist or any creative person sees and lives life, and this may be you or any hope-to-be creative person, talking about how to bring out your creativity. So I hope you can join me on that one. And, of course, the blog, which I mentioned earlier, What I Know About Love, that'll be up tomorrow, March 18th, 2013. And if you aren't signed up to get the blog by subscription on the feed, which you can find on the blog itself, just go to GodIsAlwaysHappy.com/blog, GodIsAlwaysHappy.com/blog. You can find my blogs there. Hey, I wanted to tell you something funny, just to lift the vibration of the show, since I was feeling bad about Carl. And by the way, somebody asked in the chat room, can I talk to my pets? Yes, but right now it's kind of hard because I'm emotional. But the day after he died, I did paint his picture. You know how I'm doing these after life portraits, and I'm doing them for people and animals. They're not pictures of the people, that look like them, or animals, but the energy of your person or pet. The very first one I did, which was a shock to me, was I did Carl, and I'm very pleased with it, but I'll tell you what, it was really hard to do the day after. Anyway, here's the thing I thought you might find enjoyable. I was reading this morning in the paper about nose hair. Yes, N-O-S-E, hair. The hair that grows out of your nose. They've studied this scientifically, and we grow 6 feet of nose hair in an average lifetime. What do you think of that? It gave me a good laugh. Oh, my God. And I was going to tell Bill, because he was complaining about he's losing his hair in his head. In fact, I did tell him, why don't you just grow your nose hair out and comb it across the top of your head? Oh, I'm so mean. So mean. Anyway, all right. Oh, let's get some callers here. And after the next break, I'll be choosing those 3 winners for free readings with me. So let's go over here and let me go eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's go with Ashley, Spring Hill, Florida. Hello, Ashley.
Hi, Venus. How are you?
Good. What can I do for you, my friend?
Basically, I've been contemplating getting certified to teach yoga and open a yoga studio.
Yes.
And I was wondering if it looks like it will come to fruition and if it looks fulfilling for me.
Okay, what are you doing now?
I'm not working right now, actually.
What did you used to do?
I used to do a lot of phone work.
Okay. So you're good with people then, huh?
Right.
Right. You feel a little low energy right now. Are you feeling that way?
This afternoon, I am.
Why is that?
I've been wearing myself out the past week, though.
Why?
So pretty down.
Why?
Just trying to get my energy back up, basically, and come back to bite me.
Well, why has your energy been down? That seems like a bigger question than what you asked me. Why has your energy been down?
I'm really not sure.
Okay, how long has it been down?
Probably like a year.
Well, okay. Let me see. Let me check you out. How old are you?
I'll be 26 at the end of the month.
Okay. All right. Well, you know, sometimes when I'm working with people, they ask me a question and the beings go somewhere else, and I don't have any control over that. So, do you mind if I come inside your head?
That's fine.
Have you ever heard me on the radio?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you know about me and how I work?
Right.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I'm not so sure. All right, darling, let me check you out. What color's your hair at the moment?
Brown.
Okay. Ashley, I'm coming inside your head, and sometimes people feel me when I do this, and sometimes not. So, Ashley, what's going on with Ashley? Let's help Ashley here. What is it? Are you sorry about something? Are you feeling sorrowful or sad about something, or have you?
Not really anything in particular. I'm kind of depressive to begin with, but other than that, not really.
Well, we're going to have to peel you off in layers here, apparently. Why are you feeling depressed?
I think it's a chemical imbalance, or maybe energetic, personally.
Okay. Have you had this all your life, or has it just been for the past year?
Basically 10 years, but it's been worse over the past year.
Okay. All right. So let me see what we need to do with you, and then we'll get to your question. I'm not going to forget your question, but I have to do this first, okay?
Okay.
All right. So let's see what's going on with Ashley, and the depression here. You know, there's all kinds of reasons for depression. Have you seen a doctor? Have you seen a therapist? Have you done anything? Are you taking anything?
And no, I don't take medication.
Okay, well, that's fine. But sometimes we're just lacking something, and we also can be affected by things. You know, I used to work as an herbalist with people's health, and I'm always sort of on the side doing that. And I was talking a bit earlier, if you heard me on the show, about additives and things we're eating that we don't even know are affecting us. And oddly enough, which is not odd because I often find whatever I'm talking about shows up in the people who call, I think there are things you are eating and taking into your body that are harming you. Do you drink sodas or any liquid stuff like that?
I've been cutting back a lot lately on the soda, but I did drink a lot of it. I'm really bad with the coffee.
Do you do diet sodas?
No, not at all.
Good. Because they have really bad stuff in them, really bad, that affects the brain and causes tumors, cancers, all kinds of stuff, which I'm not supposed to say, but, you know, don't drink those suckers. I feel like there's something you're drinking. It may be the sodas and all the sugar that may be affecting you. Let me look at the coffee. It's okay as long as you get organic, a good line of coffee. Just don't overdo it because it sort of whips your adrenals. It's like you need to be put back in order. It's interesting because we were just talking today about getting your Jing back and people who are sucked out, and you're one of those sucked out folks. Right. Sorry. But, you know, there's different things they want you to do here. They want you to really be very aware of what you're eating and eat as cleanly as possible. Read labels. What I've been studying and learning is that MSG, for example, can be in things they're allowed to call them natural or natural spices or even spices. I mean, you should be cooking and eating your own stuff and not letting anything get into it, getting off the soda. I think it would be good for you to see an acupuncturist, somebody who does Chinese medicine to get you back in order. Someone who can find out if you're missing a chemical thing in your brain. There are people who can do that, who do muscle testing, who look for things like that. You're going to have to do some research. Yoga is good for you. I like it, but it hasn't fixed you, has it?
Not yet, no.
Not yet.
I'm hoping
and
it will.
For your work to succeed, for your work in yoga to succeed in your business, you have to fill yourself up. You have to get filled with energy and light. You have to get everything else cleared out. They're tied together. If you go into it now and you're pulling it together and you're working it, people are going to feel that you're not okay. And it's going to affect your business. So you got a job here. You got work to do. Once you get yourself fixed, cleared up, I see you as being very vibrant, full of energy, a real woo girl, And then you'll be able to do whatever you want, and you'll be able to go in with enthusiasm and make it happen, and it'll work out great. But you're number one. You got to get this fixed. 10 years is too long, right?
Absolutely.
You got to go wherever and whoever, follow every lead. And there's something my sister Polly does. She talks to the universe. She works with her husband, Dr. Ron, who I've mentioned sometimes on the show, and people will walk in to see him, and Polly will look up, and she'll just know what's wrong with them, and she'll start blurting out what the problem is and what they should do. And Dr. Ron says, "You can't be saying things like that." But she says what she does is she'll often ask the universe to help her with somebody or her problems or whatever, and then she promises that she'll keep her mind open and she'll listen to everything that comes her way. She'll watch everything. She'll listen to what people say. She'll looking at, advertisements in front of her face, or things will happen, and she just feels that she gets the answer here. Something I do, and I'm saying this not only for you, my darling, but for everybody out there, because you all can use these tips. When I'm having health issues, and I'll sit and I'll go over and over, what is it? Yeah, what is it? And sometimes I will hear words in my head, medical words, and I don't know what they mean. And by golly, most of the time, maybe even all the time, I'm right, or the words are right. Many, many years ago, like 15 years ago, my father had a lot of health problems, and among them was his arms kept slinging all over, and he couldn't hold them still, and they kept slapping him in the face, and other parts of his body. He kept saying, "What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me?" And he asked his doctors, and they didn't know. Nobody knew, and he'd say to me, "Venus, what's wrong with me?" I go, "Daddy, I don't know." Bam! He's always slamming himself in the face with these flailing arms. So finally one day I was just sitting, "What's wrong with Daddy? What's wrong with Daddy?" And I got this word in my head, which probably 15 years later a lot of you have heard because now it's become well known. But back then nobody was saying it. The word was tardive dyskinesia. Go figure. Where would that come from? I heard tardive dyskinesia. And I looked it up, and it meant you would get this from taking certain medications, and it would cause your body to be uncontrollable like that. So now people know this, and there's a lot of medications that do it, and a lot of times when they get you off the medications, you still have tardive dyskinesia. Well, I mentioned it to Polly, my sister. She still remembers it, and she's still mad at me because she said after I told her that word, she just never could get it out of her head. It kept going round and round and round. It did in mine, too, because it's such an odd word. But I'll get words like that. I don't know what your ability is, but what we're saying here, and I say we because the beings and I work together here, is you need to hunt for what this issue or issues are, and you need to just run it down, and then anything you do is going to succeed, Ashley, okay?
Okay. Sounds fantastic.
So you have a big job, my friend. Get busy, okay? Let me know. You can always email me.
I will do that.
All right, darling. Thanks for the call.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, I kind of get carried away with things, don't I? Another word, I was having a lot of trouble with my gut when I had that bad bacteria, but I didn't know I had it, that I got in Mexico, and I've been suffering for years, and nobody could figure it out. And I was with my doctor one day, and I said, I got this word in my head when I was asking what's wrong with me, and it was, God, I've forgotten the word. I just had it a minute ago. It was a very odd word. Well, if I remember it, I'll tell you later. And dysbiosis. Dysbiosis. I said, I heard this word. It's dysbiosis. And he turned around and looked at me and said, that's right. And dysbiosis means that your gut is so screwed up from all the toxins that it's just a mess. It's a toxic stew. It's called dysbiosis. A lot of people apparently suffer from this, but I had never heard the word. Anyway, it goes on and on. I hear all kinds of strange stuff. So, all right, let's do this. Let's just jump ahead a minute or two and take a break, a short break. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to be telling you the winners, the 3 winners, and we'll take more of your calls. And this is Venus Andrecht with the Dear Venus Show.
Attention business owners and entrepreneurs. Are you looking for help with your online marketing? Or do you need a beautifully designed custom website that you can edit yourself at an affordable price? Contact Heather at StudioThirdEye.com. She will make it happen for you online, from website design, branding, social media, to getting found on the internet. You can reach Heather at StudioThirdEye.com. Heather's professional and fair and has many happy clients from small and mid-sized businesses. Find her at StudioThirdEye.com. That's Studio ThirdEye.com. Or you can email intuitiveinternet@gmail.com and tell her what you need to accomplish. Heather will make it easy for you.
Hi, I'm Venus's daughter, Summer McStravick. And as they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. That's why I think you might enjoy my podcast, Flow Dreaming. It airs live on Tuesday, right before Venus's show. Or you can find it on iTunes or at my website, flowdreaming.com. I work with energy and I look in people's lives just like Venus, except I call what I do flow dreaming, and I teach other people to manifest and create in their lives using this flow energy too. So I hope you'll check out my podcast, Flow Dreaming, on iTunes, CTR, or at flowdreaming.com.
Venus thinks the world needs cheering up. Let me tell you, her blog certainly does that. Every week it's a true story about her life and the people in it. Here are a few comments. Oh, thank you. I am laughing so hard. Every Wednesday it's great to start my day like this. And love, love, love to read your blogs. You always make my day. I have emailed your blogs onto many people this year. And your blogs are profound, prophetic, and wise. They make me laugh and cry and everything in between. And, okay, Venus, I almost spewed coffee out of my nose reading this one. Too funny. By the way, her family subscribes to her blog for their own protection. You can subscribe too. Just look for the orange-colored feed at the top of the blog. You can find the latest and often harrowing adventures in Venus's life at godisalwayshappy.com/blog. That's godisalwayshappy.com/blog.
You're listening to Dear Venus with your host, Venus Andrecht.
Hi, welcome back. All right, let's see. Got 3 winners today. Before I tell you that, oh, I'm so mean. Let me just mention how you can get in the possible winner's pot in case you don't know. You need to be on my most current mailing list. I have 2 mailing lists because I'm trying to get rid of the old one, but I want you all over from the old one to the new one. And the way to know if you're on the new one is you go to my website, godisalwayshappy.com, and you look around for the blue headphones in that area. Click on whatever you see there. And that puts you in the new mailing list. And you also get that free MP3 mojo called No Matter What Happens, Everything Is Always Okay. So that's how you do that. Speaking of mojos, I got to do one today. Oh, my gosh, I got to throw you out a mojo. But, you know, I have mojos on my site for nominal purchase price. There are all different kinds of things to bring good stuff into your life. And here's a testimonial that I got from Mojos. This lady says, we spoke last May about my potentially cheating fiancé. He finally fessed up to everything you said in your reading. I ended up calling off the wedding. I'm glad I dodged that bullet. You were spot on as always. By the way, wow, your mojos really work. And so funny. Laugh out loud, Jennifer. So, yep, they often work and they work real well. You never know with those mojos. They're a piece of work. Okay, the winners. 3 winners today. Normally, every show, which is every Tuesday, I choose a winner for a 10-minute phone reading with me. And the reason 3 today is because 2 weeks ago with my last show, I forgot to choose a winner. And last week we didn't have a show. The studio was closed, so I didn't choose a winner. And today I normally choose a winner. So 1, 2, 3, that's how we got that. Here we go. Here are 3 of you, and if you're the winner, this offer is good through March 25th, 2013. After that, my offer is null and void, and you can reach me through my website, godisalwayshappy.com, or my email, venus@venusandrecht.com. Number 1 winner is Allen, Allen Press, Press. Number 2, Nikki Duwick, Nikki Duwick. Number 3, Nicole, Nicole, last name Tierhorst, Terhorst. Congratulations, and I hope to hear from you, and you'll keep me really busy here with 3 free readings. All right, let's get back to work here. Let me go with Casimir in Brooklyn, Ohio. Casimir.
Hi, Venus.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, excellent. How's things?
Have we talked before?
A long time ago. I don't remember how long it's been, but it's been a while. Long time.
Well, okay, because it seemed like you were a bit familiar to me. So what's going on with you?
Yeah, I had left one job. I had this one job through an agency at a local bank. That the lady at the agency sent me there. I interviewed with the lady at the bank, and she was rather enthusiastic about bringing me in. She loved my experience and all.
Yeah.
And so I started, and it was supposed to be at least a 6-month assignment. And as it turns out, they told me they didn't need me anymore last week after about 2.5 weeks.
So did they tell you why they didn't need you?
The excuse I got, and I say it was an excuse because I think it was something else different, is that they had me doing a lot of mail that came in and not much else. And the excuse was I wasn't giving enough detail to the mail.
You weren't giving enough details to the mail?
Yeah, it's to sending it, where to send it to and who I was sending it to and whether I was supposed to keep it in our department or not. And, so that was, so it was a definite excuse.
You think it was bogus?
Yeah.
What were you hired to do, Casimir?
I was going to help out, verifying pension payments. That the department would cut checks. Yeah, I'd help verify that they're going to the right people, and when the checks were actually, I'd work on the system, make sure the checks were being cut for the right people. Then when we get the checks that were cut, I'd have to verify.
But you never got to do that, right?
Right.
Okay. Do you feel comfortable telling me the name of the bank?
It was Key Bank here in Cleveland.
T Bank?
Right.
I don't know T Bank. It must be
KEY.
Key Bank. Okay,
Key
I still don't know. Must be some banks back there I don't know about. Okay, Casimir, how old are you?
47.
And what was your last job?
The job before that, I was working as a medical technician, and that job I ended up leaving because the company I was working for charged me money like crazy. They owed me probably like $180 worth of pay.
Oh.
And when I kept complaining about it, they fired me. So,
oh, you've had a run of luck here, haven't you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Have.
Who was the person you reported to at the bank? Is there a first name or something that I can look at, or the person who gave you the bad news?
Yeah, her name, well, the lady at the bank, the hiring manager at the bank, her name was Nicole.
Nicole. And she's the one that told you that story?
No, the one I got, the message I got from was the lady at the agency, and her name was kind of unusual. It's the only time I've heard of it. It was Maridee, Maridee. So
Maridee, okay.
Yeah, that was strange.
Okay. All right, let me do this. Let me go into you. Do you have dark hair?
Yeah, it's a little darker brown. Well, it's getting a little thin on top, but...
okay. All right, Casimir, I'm going to come into you now. Casimir, coming into your head. Just settling in. Whoo! I felt like a big chicken settling in with puffing out my puffy wings there. I don't know why. Jeez. That's odd. Okay, I'm settling in for Casimir. You're going to your bank with you. Going to Key Bank. You got the job from Nicole. And there's other woman, Maridee. All right. And, of course, I have to keep talking because I'm on the radio. I can't just get quiet and concentrate as deeply as I'd like to. Okay, let me go into Nicole. Okay, and what do you see here, Nicole? Any problems here? And did you get along with everybody there, or was there somebody who you didn't get along so well with? Or it feels like there was a woman who thought you weren't really nice to her or were rude or something about you and women. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, actually it does, too, because there was one lady who sat right across the aisle from me who seemed to be a little uptight, and she was the one I would be dealing with mail, and, there were a couple times she ran off to Nicole to complain that I wasn't doing the mail right.
Yep.
So.
Yep. That's it. That's where it came from. And what she said was, she was complaining it was more about a man-woman thing, that you weren't treating her respectfully, or how we have these problems in jobs now with, what do you call the sex thing? What do you call that? What's that word?
Yeah, like harassment.
Harassment, right. And so she just kept is this woman older? Is that why I would feel like that big chicken settling in?
Yeah, I think she seemed to be probably early. I'm guessing kind of maybe early 50-ish.
Yeah, that's her. Okay. That's why I had that sense of just that big mother chicken settling in your head, like blonk, that kind of feeling. Okay. Makes sense to me now. May not you, but that's what happened, and that's where it came from. And, the bank says they can't take any chances with anything like sexual harassment or this and that the banks have enough trouble, and the banks have to be so careful now. And so they just weren't going to fool with it. They just weren't going to fool with any problems. And that woman has been there longer than you, and she's ingratiated herself. And, that's it, Casimir.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, now you know.
Yeah.
Have I hurt your feelings?
Well, no. Yeah, because there was another case where it was sort of had a similar situation probably about 7 or 8 years ago where I was accused, actually, well, I thought I was wrongfully accused of it at another local bank, and I got written up for it, but... About
the same issue?
Yeah, well, this other woman was thinking that, I go to make copies in this, at this other bank, and I'd look around the room, because it was a really large-sized room, because it was sort of like a warehouse type of, half a warehouse. And, of course, being a big room, while I was making copies, I look around and I'll, just look around, not necessarily at anybody in particular.
Right.
And this one woman kept staring at me, so I looked back at her, so she went to the boss complaining that I was sexually harassing her.
Yeah, okay. Well, okay, what I'm also getting was that you need to be careful, because there's something you're doing or saying that sets these kinds of women off. Like they thought you were rude or short with them, or you didn't treat them respectfully or something.
Yeah, with this woman, I didn't necessarily.
Yeah, there was something. So I'm just saying, I'm just being real straight with you, because, I love you and I want to help you.
Right.
When you get your next job, you just need to be aware of this, and you need to ask maybe some people you trust, how am I with women? How do I treat them? Are you married?
Yes.
Ask your wife.
Gotcha.
Ask her if there could be something that could be misconstrued. It's more like it's something that's being misconstrued, or a certain way of speaking or a habit that you do that makes women feel like you blow them off or something.
Interesting.
Or that you're not treating them with respect. So you didn't expect me to tell you this now, did you?
Yeah, I was thinking of maybe something else I did, at least job-related wise, but not necessarily.
No, it was people. It was people-related. So you need to get to the bottom of this so it doesn't happen again, because you're a really nice guy.
Yeah. And what was kind of interesting, too, is this manager, she's over 2 different departments, and I was going to try and apply, I had applied for a job in her other department, too, because I was hoping, because I kind of like Nicole, and I was hoping to get into her department, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And I know Meredith at the agency, I asked her, well, can you place me in another job in a totally different area? And she wants nothing to do with that at all. So, so now I understand why.
Well, find out what you can find out by asking women to point out or help you or give you some ideas, because you don't want this to happen again. And, I saw it happening, and I'm pretty good at what I do, okay? Right. I don't want you to repeat it and not know what it is you're doing. So let's do this. I'm going to give you a good mojo, and I'm going to throw it out to everybody, too, okay? Okay. Because you know how these mojos go. You get the brunt of it, but the rest of it spatters everywhere. Everybody gets it, too. As strong, actually. So I'm asking the beings, what can we do for Casimir? What can we do to help him get a really good job, to get this situation cleared up out of his life so it doesn't get repeated? Bam! Woo! Bam! 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 This is getting things clear out of your life and everybody's life that are hindering you, holding you back, maybe things that you don't even know you're doing or saying, or that are causing you problems. Out! 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 Boom! 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 Mojo! 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 Boom! 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 Woo! Woo!
Oh.
All right, Casimir, how are you?
Oh, it gave me a nice little charge there.
Good. That's what I try and do, darling. Well, thank you for the call, and I'll be thinking really good thoughts for you, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Don't we all do things we don't know about us? What about that saying, oh, what a gift a genie gives to see ourselves as others see us? We don't see ourselves. We don't see what we're doing. We don't see what might be off-putting, let's say, that might be causing other people problems. I only have a couple of moments here, so instead of calling on somebody on the line, I'm sorry, I just wouldn't be able to do a good job rushing like that. I'm going to tell you something that happened to me yesterday that I thought was interesting. I went to Starbucks because I was writing my blog about Carl, the blog, What I Know About Love, that comes out tomorrow, March, what is that, the 20th? Yeah. 2013. I always say this because people listen to repeats and repeats of these shows years later. Anyway, so I'm sitting there, I'm writing it, and of course I'm not feeling real good. My heart is really broken. And this fellow comes toward me, and this is a fellow, he's in his probably early 50s, nice looking man. I've known him for years, and we're friendly acquaintances, maybe more than friendly acquaintances. You know what I'm saying? And he always, when he sees me at Starbucks or any place, he sits down and he talks to me for a little bit, and then he goes in and he does his work. So he came over and he sat down next to me, and this time he said, well, I know you're busy, he says, but he said, there's something I've been wanting to tell you about for a long time. And I said, okay. And I closed up my laptop, and he said, I don't know anybody else I can talk to about this. And he said, I know from things I read about you, I guess he sort of read about my stuff online, he says, I know you're into this kind of stuff. And he gets really quiet, and I had to say, go ahead, you can tell me, I can take it, whatever it is. So then he said he had this experience when he was like 20 maybe, so that was a long time ago, where he had some kind of experience, something he saw in his head, something he was able to do, and it really blew him off his stool. And then he goes in, he says, and then I had this cat. He says, I had this cat. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is really strange. He's telling me about this cat, and I'm here writing about my cat, and he's telling me all these weird things. And he said, and I had this cat, and one time I was looking at my cat, and there was a blue ball on the floor, and I saw pictures in my head, and I thought it to my cat, and I said, bring me the blue ball. And he says, my cat went over and got the ball and rolled it over to me, and I thought, what the heck, And then later he was thinking about what was it, that had to be an accident, and he was looking at his cat and he pictured it, and he asked his cat with his mind to come over, get on his lap, and put its paw on his left cheek. The cat comes trotting over, jumps in his lap, puts his paw on his right cheek, looks him in the eye. And there were a number of other things that he and that cat did. And then he got a goat. Somebody gave him a goat. And he said, because of that goat and the bond that we made, because it was a sentient being, he says, I learned that all animals are sentient beings. He said, I had to stop hunting. I couldn't hunt anymore because of the goat and the relationship. And then somebody said, well, you can still hunt birds. But then they went hunting, and he found a big magpie, a crow in a bush, and he realized it was a baby, and he pulled it out. There was a problem with it, and all the crows were screaming. They were so upset above him, and he put out the thought, this baby's hurt. I'm going to take the baby to be helped. And they all shut up immediately. And he took it back to camp, and they were out nowhere. And there was a hippie girl who parked there right beside him. And she took care of baby birds, of ravens, of magpies. Anyway, I have to go because my time's up here, but I thought that was fascinating. There is more going on in the world than we could even know, and we just have to trust life and the process. And thank you for being with me today. I really love and appreciate you. Come see me next week. Venus Andrecht with the Dear Venus Show.